we did not get picked up, and it was very sad. And at the end, Ellen said, she confided in me, I'm thinking of doing a daytime talk show. And I was like, yeah, well, that's not a good idea.
Well, because she went on to do a talk show, famously.
She did?
Yeah, no, it was like a big thing.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was like her next thing.
Oh my God, I'm going to TiVo it.
Please welcome to the stage. She's not the president, but she did once head up the state. It's the phenomenal Kerri Kenney-Silver. Hi. Thank you for being here. So nice to meet you.
Thank you for having me. I don't know why I just did that weird thing with my hands. Because I had cards.
Honestly, you did it with confidence. I wouldn't have doubted or questioned it until you
And
brought
I'm
it back to it.
sitting with confidence, too.
Yeah. So you star in Tina Fey's new series, The Four Seasons. Your character is a woman who's about to start a new chapter after decades of marriage, whether she wants to or not. As somebody who's about to get married for the first time, this won't happen to me, right?
Oh, why? No, why no, John? Why would it? I mean, it happens. Listen, this lady, you'll see. We'll watch the show. Roll the clips. And by clips, I mean the whole season. No, it's not going to happen to you. Because, listen, it's a cautionary tale that after 20 years of marriage, which is where I currently am in my marriage, 20 years, there's work to be done. You can't just sit back and expect it's just going to run like a well-oiled machine if you don't oil it. So I am giving a life talk. It's on love and marriage.
So you've been married for 20 years.
I've been married 20 years.
So my friends have been married a long time, and they're all saying that watching Four Seasons is great, but it hits because it's like dealing with stuff that happens in long relationships. And they're all like, oh, you're so lucky you get to watch it early in a relationship, because if you're like, this wouldn't be us, it could never be us.
There are many cautionary tales in the show, but also I think you're going to find pieces of your life already in there. Everyone has said to me who's watched the series, I feel very seen, but not necessarily in a good way.
Yeah, I watched the first episode, and I love a show. I love just watching well-observed couples doing normal couple stuff. I just do. And it captures a bunch of different ways you'll see couples. And I like that there's a gay couple, because I always just feel like I have a certain gay chauvinism, which is that on some fundamental level, I do believe men and women truly hate each other. And that I do that. And that it just actually makes no sense. None of you should be together. You're not compatible. Fundamentally, you never were.
I'm going to call my husband really quick.
Yeah. But the gay couples, things aren't always.
They're not always peachy.
Not always peachy, and I that's not, and not, I don't.
I saw La Cage aux Folles.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember it.
I saw the Birdcage.
Oh, that's what I meant to say.
So, your character gets assigned strawberries.
Yes.
Because at some point the character wore something with strawberries.
Yes.
And then you became a strawberry mom because people thought you liked strawberries and bought you a bunch of strawberry stuff. In your real life, was there something you were accidentally assigned?
No, not really, but it happened to my grandmother. And when she was older, it was owls for her. So it was just very easy to buy for her because it was like, of course, we'll get grandma an owl dish towel. She'll love it. And by the time she passed away, she had every surface was covered with owls because this woman lived a very long time. But I found out towards the end, didn't like owls, never liked owls, hated owls, in fact. But same thing happened as happens to my character Anne. Someone gave her something. Of course, she's not an asshole. And she went, I love it. And they're like, well, wait till next birthday. And then the 40 or 50 after that.
I also do think there's something interesting because this is an adaptation of something from, is it the 70s or 80s?
From 1981.
1981.
Yeah.
And I do think there's something important about the distinction between the way boomers dealt with their shit and the way Gen X millennials deal with their shit. And there's something about no, we communicate. We've cracked it. Unlike our parents, then you watch this, you're like, you didn't crack anything.
No, you didn't.
You didn't crack fucking shit.
You didn't crack shit. But Tina Fey's writing is so it is like a laser, and there are these, this feels ridiculous, I'm like telling you about it, you haven't seen it, but she has these like observations that are so, you go, why has no one ever said that out loud before? That's so completely accurate, and it can be about something so minute.
So you were, as most of the nerds in our audience know, you got your start in the influential sketch group, The State.
Yes.
Featured in a new documentary called Long
Thank
Live
you,
the
nerds.
State. It's at Tribeca in June. It's almost 40 years after it's founded. Of the State's 11 original members, who do you think has aged the worst?
Depends on the day. Sometimes it's me.
No.
Well, listen, I'm wearing, this doesn't just happen. This is 7 hours in the makeup chair. I'm wearing 4 wigs.
Well, we're going to put out the time release because we're going to do one of those time release things like
Yeah.
we made you a goblin from
Okay, great.
from Game of Thrones, or what's the one with the orcs, the orc one?
Mork from Orc?
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Gollum.
Yeah.
That's what I look like in the morning. Just ask my husband.
We've had your State co-star Thomas Lennon on this show, and I think it's amazing how well he's hidden his cruelty and vindictive nature from the public eye. It's just an absolutely horrible,
Talk about Gollum.
just a horrible monster of a person.
Yeah.
Here's some quotes from Thomas Lennon backstage that we heard. These are real quotes that he said to us in seriousness, and I would love to get your reaction to them. Mm-hmm. You call this hummus?
Yeah, that sounds like Tom.
I smell a Jew.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't love the Jews.
If I don't have a mint tea in my hand in the next 5 minutes, you'll be calling Madison 911.
He says that all the time.
He says that all the
Yeah.
time. I thought this was interesting. I moved to Wisconsin to get away from all the taquerias.
Oh, yeah. But that's just because he has a digestion issue.
That's a digestive thing. I thought it was a race thing, but it's a
No,
digestive.
He loves the Mexicans.
But it's mostly a digestive thing.
Yeah, it's a dairy issue.
He said to me, "You look like you've eaten dog meat before." What kind of insult is that? What kind of
I don't
person
know that
says
that's
that?
necessarily an insult. He might be giving you a compliment that you look like you're like an adventurous person.
Oh, I'm taking
I
it
like
the
to look
wrong
on
way.
the bright side. I have been around this guy since I was 16.
That must
so you
be
have
how
to have
you make
thick
it
skin and
work.
you just look open mind.
You got to have an open mind. He said, "How long is this going to take? I'm parked in the intersection."
Yeah.
That's crazy.
These are classic Lennonisms.
I saw Janine Garofalo used to call you and hang up on you in the 90s because she was obsessed with you.
This is true. This was when we had the telephones that were just phones. And she got my phone number. I don't remember how she got my phone number, but she just cold called me and said, "You don't know me. My name is Janine Garofalo, and I'm obsessed with you. And can we talk?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she just went on and on about the State, how much she loved the State, and loved my band, and she was just the coolest person ever. And even to this day, she does not own a computer. So when we need to contact her, we call her on the telephone, probably the same telephone that she was calling me in 1992.
Well, because we had her on the show in New York, and booking was a challenge.
Yeah, no, for real. This is a true thing. This is a true thing.
And so she does the crossword in the paper.
Yes, that's it. And she's happier than all of us.
I know. It's a better life.
It's
a better life. So what would you say to somebody trying to get started in comedy now versus what it was like when you got started?
Well, I don't really know what I would say to people except make your own work. I mean, that's what it's always been. That's what it was for us. It's just the vehicle to make the work was different. We used to do it on Abacus. Now you have these fancy teletypewriters.
Yeah, no, that's amazing because you're doing all the math just by hand to make the state, and people don't realize that it's a lot of computations.
It's a lot of computations.
It's a lot of computation. Hidden Figures was I think that was about the state.
That's right. It was a documentary, and sometimes if we want to make jokes real fast, we'll rub 2 sticks together.
Wow.
You just better hope it's not a damp day. No, you know what? Speaking of Alan Alda, which you weren't.
We were. No, actually we were.
Aren't we always all up here speaking of or thinking of Alan Alda? No, the original Four Seasons movie was written and directed by Alan Alda, and you were asking earlier about the guys. I haven't totally lost it. This is a thread that I'm expertly weaving in front of your eyes.
And you know what? I see the tapestry.
I have the abacus is going, and I'm going to get to the point. No, he called me and said, my grandson is graduating from university, and he wants to get into acting. I don't know what to tell him to do anymore because the business is vastly different from when he started. Would you sit with him? I said, I would be honored, of course. So I drove to lunch with him, not thinking anything. Thought, it's going to be lovely. I'm going to meet Ellen's grandson. And I got to lunch and I sat at the table and I was like, shit, I don't know what to tell you either. Because I guess if you would like to follow an example, get a group of idiots together in college and then get your own TV show. Like that doesn't happen, but make your own work. Now there's the YouTube. Have you heard of it?
I have heard of it.
All the kids are doing it.
That's where I get my workout and recipe tips.
Yes,
but also comedy.
There's such thing as comedy recipes.
Love It or Leave It is brought to you by Armra Colostrum. We're always talking guts on this show. So why not give your guts its best foot forward? Its best food forward with Armra Colostrum. Probiotics and other supplements are touted as a gut health solution, but most products on the market are dead before they even reach your gut. Armra Colostrum naturally fortifies your entire gut wall system and optimizes your whole body microbiome, which helps guard against irritants that can trigger digestive issues and compromise your immune system. Research has shown that colostrum helps to enhance nutrient absorption. Armra Colostrum can help stabilize blood sugar levels, modulate hormones, ignite your metabolism. Colostrum bioactives have also been shown to reactivate hair follicle stem cells, activate collagen production, promote hair growth, enhancing skin radiance. You hear that? Radiance. Plus, we've worked out a special offer for our audience. Receive 15% off your first order. Go to tryarmor.com/loveit or enter LOVEIT to get 15% off your first order. That's TRYARMRA.com/loveit.
Kerri.
What?
You've been a sweet-faced staple in Hollywood film and TV since the early 1990s. It's time to test our audience mastery of your IMDb page in a segment we call Was I in This?
Okay.
Here's how we're going to play it today. We're going to try an experimental version, which is you're all going to play together, okay? And you're just going to yell true or false. All right, let's kick it off. Kerri was only one of two original women members of the state alongside Wendy McLendon Covey. True. False. You were the only female original founding member of the state.
Aww.
That's a cute pic.
I love that you cropped all the cigarettes out of that photo.
Yeah, we're like Spielberg taking the guns and cigarettes out of E.T.
Yeah.
Because
E.T. was a heavy smoker.
He was why do you think he had that leathery skin? You don't just get that skin.
Think about it.
You talked on the Last Laugh pod about having a more masculine energy than some of the men in the state. Do you think that energy has been a strength?
Well, out of context, that sounds curious. I believe the original question in that podcast was, what was it like being the only woman in the group? And my point always was, we just saw ourselves as this sort of, amorphic group of comedy juice. And so I just happened to be a girl. But, I played guys, and I still do, and they play women. And so it wasn't like, oh, guys, the girl's here, Well, at least I hope it wasn't like that.
That's what Thomas said.
He said it was like that?
He said, have you ever met the girl?
God, I really thought I knew him till tonight. It's over. I FaceTimed him all the way here. That's true.
Really?
Yes.
So you're still that close?
Yes.
Oh, what'd you FaceTime about?
He was having a glass of wine. We were talking about the Four Seasons, and we were talking about how excited we are for the state documentary premiere at Tribeca.
You know what I realize as I get older is that one of the great parts, maybe the greatest part of getting older, is old friends.
Yeah.
There's no replicating it when you're young. You can't understand it when you're young. Yeah. But to have a friend for 40 years is an extraordinary thing.
It's extraordinary. And to also still really, truly like each other and want to work together it really is, it is not lost on me. I have a 19-year-old son, so I'm watching him sort of, all of the kids, all the state kids are about the age or older than when we all met. I met Tom at 16, my son's 19, and it's crazy to look at this young person and think, God, I was that when we met and said, hey, let's be friends forever and always work together, and then we did. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's cool. Do you want to do your next one?
Yeah, I do. My character married serial killer Craig Pullen moments before his lethal injection and may have been impregnated with his child on Reno-911.
What?
That's right, people! My character, Trudy Weigel, was wed to serial killer Craig Pullen seconds before his demise. There's a photo of me making out with the heir because he had passed away.
I love Reno 911. Are there any more Reno 911s on the horizon? What do we do?
I will never say never about Reno.
Yeah.
Niecy Nash seems to be the one that sort of rallies the group every time. And we were in a press line for something. It was unrelated to Reno. She was ahead of me. And she sort of winked at me during one of her interviews and passed on. And I got to that interview and they said, so Niecy just announced that the Reno 911's coming back. I was like, it is? I better pull out my polyester.
Next up, Kerri played Jerusha Sturgis, wife of Glenn Sturgis, played by Mark McKinney.
True.
This is true.
Only some of you guessed. Cowards. Mark is also a beloved figure in sketch comedy because he was in Kids in the Hall. What's the how do you think about the Kids in the Hall energy versus the state energy?
Well, we're we intermingle these days. So there's, back in the day, I think we used to sort of think to ourselves like, oh, those guys, like just because we were in separate groups, like, rival comedy groups.
Like the Sharks and the Jets.
That's it. But we had numbers on our side. There was never any.
You could have beat. I think in a fight, in part, just mostly because of the numbers, you could have taken the Kids in the Hall guys.
I think it's not too late for that. And I think we could monetize it.
I think there have been worse ideas pitched on this show than a state versus Kids in the Hall
Smackdown.
Fight. Yeah, and I do think I would like to see it has to be as the Chicken Woman. I think the fight needs.
Oh no, everybody's their most iconic character.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Louis is dipping his balls into Mark McKinney's crushing heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
That's great.
That'd be fun.
I played Paco's wife in Wet Hot American Summer.
Got it.
That is a trick question. I did play Paco's wife. It was filmed in the scene when Joe Latruglio steals the motorcycle at the campground. David Wayne and I, or Paco and I, were inside that tent. And we came out of the tent and had an uncomfortably long conversation about how Paco needed that motorcycle to get to his university where he was studying dentistry. And it went on and on and on. The whole time I was thinking, this is going to get cut, and it did.
Let's do one more. You want to do the last one?
Yes. I played Pam on Ellen DeGeneres' groundbreaking 1994 sitcom, Ellen.
True or false? False.
Trick question. I played Pam in Ellen's slightly less groundbreaking, but equally hilarious 2001 sitcom, The Ellen Show.
Now, I wanted to ask about this because I heard that you gave Ellen DeGeneres some questionable advice when you were working together. Would you tell us what that was?
So Ellen and I became very close while we were filming that show. I adored her, worked with her and Martin Mull and Cloris Leachman. And I mean, it was just like a masterclass being on that show. And we did not get picked up, and it was very sad. And at the end, Ellen said, she confided in me, I'm thinking of doing a daytime talk show. And I was like, yeah, well, that's not a good idea. I mean, for real, I thought that's a real loser of an idea. And so don't ever take advice from me, really, on anything, I think,
well,
ever.
Because she went on to do a talk show, famously.
She did?
Yeah, no, it's like a big thing.
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
it was like her next thing.
Oh my God, I'm going to TiVo it.
You got a TiVo. Ba-boom, ba-boom.
Is it on Quibi?
You can Quibi it. You can Quibi it.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
Quibi it.
You have to watch it in little bits.
Okay. On my phone.
Yeah, on your phone in little bits. It's great online for Chipotle, but
Okay.
other than that, it's kind of a
Okay.
weird length. Thank you, Kerri.